What is static? Well, in object-oriented programming, we can call methods and properties directly on a class, and those are called static methods, static properties. For example, math.random. Math is the math class with a capital M. Random is a static method that we're calling directly on the math class. Let's take a look at how we can do that. All right, so here we have our ball that we've been working with for the last couple what is sessions. And there we are. Let's center that on the stage and have a look. There it is. The ball is slightly off center. Its highlight is centered on the stage. We did that with a, was it an override? Yeah, an override of the center method. Now let's imagine that we want to count how many balls we have there. So we need an overarching, overarching, yeah, sure, whatever. An overarching way of doing that. We can't put our total in each ball because each ball doesn't really know about the other balls. So we're going to use a static method directly on the ball class. So ball.countMe equals function. A function, I tell you, a function of my imagination. There we go. There is a static method on the ball directly. So the way we access that is, well, let's just zog in here that we're counting. Counting. Maybe I should sit up straight. There we go. Getting a little bit lazy in my old age here. Okay, so there we are zogging counting. And that's just like a console.log. And then down here we can say ball.countMe, like so. And let's see if it is indeed counting. So we refresh here and take a look in the console. Counting, yay! Okay, now what happens if instead of saying on the class to count me, what if we ask a ball object to count? So ball.countMe, there. So now it's not the class we're asking to count, but we've made a new ball object. Does countMe belong, or does it is it on the ball object? Let's check. So we refresh here. Error, ball.countMe is not a function. So indeed, we have not put countMe inside the object here, inside the class, like this.bounds or this.center, etc. We haven't said this.countMe. So the ball object itself does not have a countMe. Only the class does. Indeed, remember a class is a function here, so it's just a function. And a function in JavaScript is an object. And we've just added a countMe property to the function itself, that object. Okay, so how do we count though? Well, we can count in a similar way. We can just say ball.total is equal to 0. So there we are storing a property, a total property, a static property right on the ball. And we can increase our count like so. Ball.total plus plus. And we could zog that, or we could return it. Return ball.total like so. And we won't zog in here. So that would return the answer of the total every time we run countMe. Oh, and by the way, we can take the countMe right from there. We can also countMe from within the class itself. Okay, and so we're going to run that from within the class, but since it's the ball total being returned to here, we better zog this, otherwise we don't see anything of interest. Okay, so we're going to take the results of the counting, which will be the ball's total, and we're going to zog it each time we run a ball. So let's see, we refresh here. 1, make a couple more balls. Copy that ball, paste, paste. Now we've got 3 balls. So each time we make a ball, it's going to count me, and that will return the answer. 1, 2, 3. Now we've got 3 balls. So that solves our problem. And by the way, if outside we go and make the balls, sort of solves our problem. It's a little bit awkward because if we go and make the balls and now say outside we wanted to know how much we were how much we got to, if we ask for this, well, I suppose the answer would be outside. We would just zog ball dot total, and that would tell us. I was going to say if we zogged ball dot count me, let's just see what that does, and that should say 3. 0, 1, 2, those are, let's see, what the heck is that? 0, 1, 2, ball total was 0 at the very beginning. Oh, okay, so that didn't quite work out as planned. We don't want to zog the balls total right here when we haven't made any balls yet. That was just telling me 0. I was expecting to see it after. So if we make a bunch of balls and we wanted to know how many, we would put them after we made them. And then we would see 1, 2, 3, and this is the number 3. What I was going to say way back there is if we ran the count me at this point to find out how many balls we had, then we would get an unusual result, a 1, 2, 3, and 4, because the count me, anytime we're running count me, is actually increasing the ball number. All right, now, is that okay? I mean, that was all a little bit all over the place there, but we've just made a static method right on the ball directly. And we assign that a function there, and this is what's happening inside. Now, there is a way that we can keep total without using the ball.total, like that, so we won't do that one. Instead, we will we'll put another function inside of here, return function, and it will put all this stuff right inside of there. So we're going to return this function from the outer function, which we're going to run right away. So do you recognize this pattern? This is a closure. So what we can do is inside of this outer function, we can store a local variable, var total is equal to 0. And then inside here, we won't use a ball property at all. We'll just use total, like so. And if we save this up and refresh here, 1, 2, 3, 4 we saw, now we see 1, 2, 3, because we took away the last count me. And it's still working. So what happens here is this outer function runs right away. And whatever it returns, and it returns this inner function right here, whatever it returns gets put into count me. So whenever we call count me, we're actually running this inner function right here, if we put the round brackets after. Okay, and this inner function is increasing total, which it has access to because there's a local variable here, but anything, because of our scope, anything inside of these brackets also has access to total. So there it is. We're increasing it and we're returning it. Because this is total is being used possibly in the future, JavaScript will not pull this function from memory. So the scope of this function right here remains in memory, as well as this local variable total remains alive. So that's a closure. And as you can see, that also increased our totals. Total equals plus ball count me. We save that up and refresh here. Total equals 1, total equal 2, total equal 3 as we go. So that's a static class or a static method. There's also a few other ones. For instance, the math class we use, math.round, if we want to round something. There we go, math.round 4.5. So that is a method, a static method right on the math class. Also in a Zim ticker, zim.ticker.add is a static method that adds some function, say animate, and we say update the stage there. So that is also a static method. Note that we do not say give me a new blah 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 or give me a new math blah blah blah. It's right on the class itself. This class is stored on a namespace, the Zim namespace. This class is not. And we just did ball.countMe, stored directly on the ball class, a static method. All right, so that's what is static. Yay! Here at zimjs.com, I'm Inventor Dan Zen. Ciao.